Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're looking at a truly fascinating dual narrative. On one hand, we're going to explore some of the absolute most vibrant, world-class public amenities that Dubai has to offer. But on the flip side, we're going to unpack the incredibly strict, proactive laws that were designed specifically to protect those exact spaces. It is a brilliant look at how these two very different sides work hand in hand to create a truly safe haven.
Okay, let's dive into this. Think about this for a second. What do stand-up paddleboarding and new penal codes actually have in common? Honestly, at first glance, absolutely nothing, right? I mean, one is a relaxing day out on the water, and the other is a super serious matter of state legislation. But as you'll see today, the freedom to just casually enjoy that paddleboard at 3 in the morning is directly tied to the proactive criminal laws functioning quietly in the background.
So here's how we're breaking it all down today. First, discovering Cape Beach. Next, the activities, eats, and logistics of the area. From there, we'll look at keeping these public spaces safe. We'll zero in on the recent sharp tools ban. And finally, we'll examine the real-world impact this legislation actually has on crime.
Let's get right into Section 1, Discovering Kite Beach, a 24/7 public oasis.
If you haven't been, you've got to picture this. Kite Beach is one of Dubai's most popular, completely free public spots right off the Jumeirah neighborhood. You're standing on this pristine white sand, and it's not just about the water, it is a whole vibe. You've got these stunning, uninterrupted horizon views of the majestic Jumeirah Burj Al Arab right there. It's this incredibly serene yet vibrant beachfront that just naturally draws massive, completely diverse crowds to its shores every single day of the year.
Moving on to Section 2, Activities and Eats and Logistics. Basically, fun in the sun.
Let's look at exactly what makes this location a world-class destination. Because for those who want a bit more action than just getting a tan, this beachfront totally exudes adrenaline. You've got all these diverse water sports, everything from kite surfing and wakeboarding to stand-up paddleboarding. Or if staying on dry land is kind of more your speed, you are definitely going to find a welcoming game of beach volleyball to join. And the best part? High-quality equipment is available to rent right there on the sand, so it's incredibly accessible for anyone to just show up and jump right into the action.
14. I want you to think about that number for a second. That is the length, in kilometers, of Kite Beach's massive running and walking track. Just wrap your head around that scale. A 14-kilometer track right along the coastline. It really grounds the sheer, literal size of the public amenities the city maintains just for anyone who wants to go for a seaside jog.
But here's what's really wild to me, the whole concept of a 24/7 beach. Because Kite Beach is accessible around the clock, certain parts of it actually allow for night swimming, literally from sunset all the way to sunrise. And this isn't just some sketchy free-for-all in the dark either. It is a highly curated, super safe experience made possible by these powerful floodlights eliminating the water and round-the-clock lifeguards that are always on duty.
So, what does a perfect day here actually look like? Well, you can pretty much just follow these two easy steps. Step 1, hit up the ever-popular salt food truck right off the shore for some incredibly tasty sliders and a lotus shake. Step 2, grab a Sol Mio Beach Day Pass. That's going to give you access to comfortable sun loungers and, get this, free food delivery right to your seat from the surrounding eateries. It's like high-end luxury perfectly combined with public accessibility.
All right, shifting gears to Section 3, Keeping Public Spaces Safe. This is the hidden framework. We've spent time talking about the incredible lifestyle and the open, welcoming atmosphere, but now let's kind of pull back the curtain. So the crucial point is, how does the UAE maintain such a secure environment in its wide-open, 24/7 public spaces? When you have thousands of people interacting on a 14-kilometer track or folks swimming in the ocean at 2 a.m., the logistics of keeping everyone safe requires way more than just a few lifeguards. It fundamentally requires a rock-solid legal environment.
Which brings us to Section 4, the Sharp Tools Ban, Proactive Legislation.
To really understand how this safety is maintained, we have to look at a relatively recent, major revision to the UAE's penal code that deals directly with crime prevention. Introduced back in September 2021, Article 405 is a penal code revision that makes it strictly 100% illegal to carry cutting, piercing, smashing, or stabbing tools out in public. The one and only exemption? If you require those tools for a professional job. So a butcher with a meat cleaver or a carpenter with an axe heading to a site? Totally fine. But anyone else just randomly walking around with a crowbar, a metal pipe, or even a pocket knife? That is now a crime.
And this brilliantly illustrates the evolution of public safety here. See, under the old law,
Just being in possession of a sharp object wasn't actually illegal unless it was used in a crime to harm someone. It was a reactive law, right? You had to wait for something bad to happen. But under the new law, it is illegal to even possess the tool in public without a valid professional reason. So the entire legal framework shifted from reactive punishment to proactive prevention.
To back this up, let's look at this quote from Dr. Hassan El-Hais from Al Rawad Advocates over in Dubai. He notes, "This is a natural progression of the country's legal system that is focused on providing a safe environment for all and working towards preventing crime." And that hits the nail on the head, right? This isn't about restricting people's freedom. It's about systematically engineering an environment where everyone can feel perfectly secure.
And you better believe the authorities take this incredibly seriously. The penalties for flouting Article 405 are extremely strict, and they operate on a zero-tolerance basis. Offenders are looking at a potential jail sentence, hefty financial fines, or in many cases, both. That creates a massive, undeniable deterrent for anyone even considering bringing a weapon into a public space.
Let's look at Section 5, the impact on crime, deterring the heat of the moment.
I want to look at the real-world data that triggered this legislation in the first place. I really want to anchor our narrative with this startling number, 135. That is the number of cases involving the use of sharp weapons. We're talking knives, swords, hammers, that were heard by Dubai criminal courts in the year 2020. This number acted as the ultimate catalyst. Seeing this, the legal system realized there was this loophole where young people could easily carry weapons simply because just possessing them wasn't a crime yet. By closing that loophole, the real-world impact is absolutely immense. Consider this insight from Judge Ahmed Ibrahim Saif, a senior judge at the Dubai Civil Court. Speaking on the new law, he said, "It will contribute to a drop in the number of cases such as assaults and armed robberies." It just makes sense. If you prevent people from casually carrying weapons, you actively deter those tragic, heat-of-the-moment crimes from ever even occurring.
So how does this actually play out on the street? Well, because of Article 405, police officers now have the complete authority to proactively stop and question individuals if they are found with sharp tools. They literally do not have to wait for an assault to happen to intervene. This empowers law enforcement to actively secure the very spaces we explored at the beginning of this explainer. The lifeguards are there to protect you in the water, and these proactive laws are there to protect you on the sand.
And that brings us to our final thought for today, something I really want you to reflect on. How do proactive safety laws shape your own experiences and peace of mind in 24/7 public spaces? We so often take the freedom to enjoy a beautiful 24-hour beach for granted, but as we've seen today, true leisure is ultimately built on a foundation of proactive, carefully crafted law. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope this deep dive leaves you seeing your own public spaces in a whole new light.